So Nora and DOA had a bit of a chat together, and as you expect, they got into a bit of an impasse. So it's very difficult to talk about DOA because if you grant he may have half a point, people just label you whatever, a cultist follower. But I will say I don't know why Nora framed herself in the way she did on several topics. So, because they covered a lot of ground, I'm just going to concentrate on a few things. I will cover the rest in another video. So, here are several issues, and it's jaw dropping what Nora, I think, was implying or really held on to. It just did not make a whole lot of sense, and there were just some devastating contradictions. So let me just get to the punchline. So one of the things she kept bringing up was that DOA supporting Jerry Armstrong, who's a very good long-time activist, was wrong or bad because Jerry made an agreement not to, quote, speak about Scientology. That's not really what the settlement was about. But anyway, Nora's not much of a legal historian or a legal expert, so she was just using some Sesame Street reasoning, saying he made an agreement not to talk, so he can't talk. It's all very simple, Scott. So I don't know why she keeps trying to discredit Armstrong. He has so much more credibility than she does. I don't get it, but that's what she tried to do. And I think DOA had some effective answers. And when she was being questioned about how she joined the Sea Org as an adult, which she did, she literally said, I don't care what the law says. In other words, if the law sees her as an adult, well, she doesn't care. She doesn't acknowledge that. So she blatantly said, I don't care what the law says. So it's like, well, then why do you care what the law says in these other cases? Right? Oh, because it involves other people. Well, so on and on it went, that she just kept having this double standard for herself and, quote, other victims. Isn't Jerry Armstrong not a victim? Well, yes, he is. He is a victim. So, yeah, a lot of what she just said just didn't make any sense. It made no sense at all, but she just kept to it, I guess, because it's like, I don't know. It's just a really bad logic. If DOA is supporting Jerry Armstrong, well, let's not support Jerry Armstrong because DOA is supporting Jerry Armstrong. It was just really, really strange. But that's what she committed herself to. So it was really, really, really odd. Really, really odd. So then they went into the topic of whether Scientology was involved in the case at all. So is DOA perhaps being targeted by OSA and Scientology? She seemed to hesitate and said, okay, yeah, it seems like that's true, but I don't want to grant that case. Okay, well, that's not the issue. The issue is not if you're psychologically comfortable conceding something to DOA. The question is it true? And we all know Moxon is involved. Moxon is a lawyer for Scientology, so she just ended up denying basic reality, saying, yeah, Moxon is involved, but I don't really care about that. And just on and on it went when he brought up facts, right, that she just did not want to acknowledge. She's like, well, I really don't care about that. So it's like, well, again, the issue is not whether you care or not. It's still there. So do you think this is a case worth supporting just to stop Moxon? So, yeah, it just, well, again, I should just back up and say, listen, Nora's just not good at these debates. She's just not like very strong with legal or logical reasoning. I'm not saying DOA is much better, but he did frame himself in a better position, so it just did not make a whole lot of sense. Now, I'm not saying believe a lot of what DOA is saying, because when it came to several other topics, like the Louis Repetto issue, yeah, there was he was just doing a lot of demagoguery, and to put it mildly, a lot of what he's saying is just pure speculation. But the fact is that Nora painted herself into the most weird corners imaginable just to what? to satisfy some of the anti-DOA people in her audience. It was just really strange. I mean, you are ending up in a place where if DOA says 2 + 2 = 4, Nora will say, no, it equals 5. I don't like you very much. It's like, again, so what? Those are two different issues. Whether you like the guy, you don't like the guy. The question is, what does 2 + 2 equal? And if it equals 4, it equals 4. Him saying it equals 4, just concede the obvious and move on. But so it was just a very frustrating experience. Very frustrating. Now, I'm not a Nora fan. So I think it's ironic that the Nora fandom got what they wanted because she utterly exposed DOA for being the evil, toxic, yada, 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 yada. But I think from the DOA audience side, once again, Nora's showing she's just not going to argue in good faith. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. She will deny basic reality, right? And she just keeps going back to, what you need to do is get my permission. You need to talk to me. You need to talk to this person. You need to talk to that person. It's like, okay, well, a lot of people will not agree with you. So now what? I don't know. But I should note some caution here. Now, I still support Jerry Armstrong. I think he's a good person. We should be supporting him. However, we should also be a little blunt here that this very strange alliance between all these people, Alonzo, Louis Repetto, Jerry, and now DOA is like, huh? Where exactly are these force horsemen of the apocalypse going now? I don't know, but given the record so far, I don't think it's a good place. But I do understand Jerry, that he's had Moxon as an opponent for decades. So if Moxon wants to see DOA in jail, I get it. He's going to side with DOA because he's going to be very suspicious, right? Yeah, there we are. But I think this is kind of a dark chapter in his legacy, right? Being blunt about it. But again, I just don't think Nora provided very strong reasons to oppose DOA helping Jerry Armstrong. I mean, it just did not make any sense. We're not going to help Jerry because she doesn't like DOA. It's like, that's not relevant. That's not the issue. But apparently to her, that's very, very important. That she feel good about a person and then she'll support someone. So it just was very, very bizarre. It also went against the basic history of her and Jerry. It just did not add up. It did not add up. But still, like I'm saying, let's be very, very careful. I do support Jerry. And if Jerry thinks this is the next logical step, right, to help stop the church, okay, well, he's got a lot of credibility. But I think these alliances are very, very murky. But yeah, Nora's not helping herself out with this like really moronic, not real legal logic, and which she admits blatantly she doesn't even care about. So it's like, okay, so why all this pseudo legal talk? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you really don't believe in whatever precedent or Supreme Court decisions or whatever, fine, you don't care about them. Why invoke them? Why waste a whole hour on that discussion? I don't know. So it was just a very weird discussion, And again, let's be very clear that both sides were just coming in to make rhetorical points. I'm sure Nora thinks she won the debate, but I think to the DOA audience, she just verified that, yeah, she's not really a serious opponent in terms of debating, right? I don't think she ever was, but she didn't herself no favors in the way she framed herself consistently in this very odd debate at all. So I don't know what she was thinking. I just don't think these are good ideas, but hey, that's what she was committed to. The law matters until it does not matter in her own case. Brilliant, legally, brilliant, logical, legal reasoning there. Brilliant.